Bordering the length of Borneo along the South China Seas, Sarawak is a place of legend, mystery and raw nature. Once the home of the fabled headhunting tribes and coastal Dayak pirate marauders, it was ruled for 100 years by the Brooke family, who were known as the White Rajas until their reign ended just after the Second World War. A land of many rivers, Sarawak abounds in natural beauty and abundant resources. It's also part of a fragile and important ecosystem which needs constant monitoring and research in order to fully understand its importance. The source of the mighty Baram River of Sarawak lies in dense and remote highland rainforests amongst mountain peaks of the Northern Highlands. Through thick forests and over waterfalls, its waters gather and weave down towards the lowlands, until it reaches a large port near a wide river mouth, where the Baram River meets the South China Sea. The Baram is the home of the Orang Ulu. Orang means people, and Ulu means upriver or distant. The region has bountiful natural produce, with rivers teeming with fish, and fertile farmlands for rice, vegetables and tropical fruits. The Baram catchment is also a source of clean drinking water. Outflow of water from the Baram catchment influences the Miri Sebuti Coral Reefs National Park. Recently gazetted and largely unexplored, the national park is a marine environment which sits just off Miri. It's become the focus of Curtin University's research aimed at understanding the impact of land use for agriculture, timber and industry upon the river system and offshore reefs. The Curtin Baram Project is an integrated study which spans the highlands to the sea. Different teams of Curtin University researchers are currently conducting studies in selected sites in an area of around 24,000 square kilometres of land and sea. Associate Professor Dominique Dodge-Wan leads a project on precisely mapping land use in the Baram catchment using information from satellite imagery. It's important to know the types of land use in the 9,000 square kilometre Baram catchment because changing land use can impact on soil erosion. Soil erosion has impact not only on the sediment load carried by the Baram River, but also on where this load eventually deposits. Thus, the relationship between the materials carried out to sea by the Baram River and the Miri Sebuti Coral Reefs National Park is something which Curtin University will be seeking to establish. One of the key outcomes from the study will be a digital map of land use in the Baram catchment. The land use map is being developed from satellite imagery. Curtin researchers conduct field visits to remote areas of the catchment to verify the types of land use and their distribution. This information is then used in conjunction with the multispectral satellite imagery to analyse the land use patterns in the entire study area using state-of-the-art digital mapping software. The distribution of heavy metals along the length of the Baram River is being studied by a team led by Associate Professor Ramasamy Nagarajan. Heavy metals such as lead, mercury and arsenic are found in many environments, but may be in higher than normal concentrations when soil is disturbed, such as when a land use exposes soil to rainfall and river erosion. Water, river sediments and plant material are regularly sampled at various points along the Baram to build a baseline data set on the presence of heavy metals. The baseline established for heavy metals will be an important reference point for assessing the impact of any developments in the Baram catchment in the future. When higher than baseline amounts of toxic metals are found in the Baram environment, it may indicate disturbance in the landscape which needs attending to. Raw samples from the Baram are processed in various ways before they're ready to be analysed for heavy metal content. Heavy metal content is determined using precision instrumentation at Curtin University, which can measure concentrations down to parts per billion. Offshore Miri in the Miri-Subhuti Coral Reefs National Park, Dr. Mick O'Leary and Dr. Ian Parnham will use sonar to produce a spatial map of the marine habitat of the area. Old coral will be cored at selected locations. The cores contain information on sediment and sea surface temperature histories. Dr. Jens Zinke and Dr. Nicola Brown will use this data in the interpretation of the effects of changes in land use onshore and the sensitivity of the coral to the thermal stress in an era of global warming. Baited remote underwater video systems will be deployed across the national park for estimating fish populations in the assessment of the sustainability and efficacy of the size of the park by Dr. Jennifer McIlwain and Professor Ewan Harvey. Left underwater, these systems automatically video record and size any fish which passes by the camera sensor. Curtin University's research in the Baram catchment, which is worth about 3.5 million ringgit so far, will have lasting value, providing reference points for research-informed management of the ecosystem of the peoples in the region. And we have only just begun the research journey.